Yo, what's up YouTube? Getting right into chapter 14, it's titled Duty, and before I start going into it, I just want to say props to Kishimoto and Ikimoto for 14 chapters of straight fire. Like no lie, chapters 1 through 14 have all been bangers. And because this is a monthly manga, when Two Blue Vortex finally gets animated, I hope they drag it out. Well, not even drag it out, so to say. Just put emphasis on all the episodes. You can make some of the episode longer than needed if you just need to add more things to the anime that the manga won't be able to get into. For instance, in this chapter, when this chapter gets animated, we could expand upon Kawaki's feelings upon hearing that Boruto still won't rat him out. We could have some sort of flashback of him and Boruto in part 1. And how, being brothers, Boruto has always been there for Kawaki. So this is a very messed up situation for both Kawaki and Boruto. Boruto more so than Kawaki. However, getting back to the chapter, like I said, chapter 14 is titled Duty, and Kashin Koji is on the cover, and man, his fit is looking cold. The red and black is really dope, and his design looks even better than Jiraiya's, no lie. Starting off the chapter, we see that Boruto is regaining consciousness and knows that he's apprehended, with his hands being handcuffed by Amado's technology, which prevents him from using his space-time ninjutsu, or any jutsu for that matter. Konohamaru tells Boruto to relax and that he's restrained just so that they can ask him questions and to most likely figure out the whereabouts of Naruto and the identity of the Shinju who they've been fighting. For the time being, Boruto decides to give in and starts to answer a few of Konohamaru's questions regarding the Shinju, with Konohamaru telling Boruto that the Shinju fled after he passed out. Elsewhere, we cut to Inojin with Sakura healing him, saying that she's surprised that something impaled him because he's almost completely healed. His chakra is just thrown off. Now I want to rant about this part for a second. We see that Sakura is here in the hospital healing Inojin, but where was she a couple chapters ago when Hidari and Jura infiltrated the village? As a longtime Naruto fan, even in Naruto Part 1, Sakura was always there whenever Sasuke was about to do something crazy, or whenever he was about to leave. Sakura was always there, so it doesn't make sense why she didn't show up to the front lines as soon as she heard that Jura and Hidari invaded the village, because Hidari's chakra signature matched that of Sasuke's. This was my really only nitpick with the chapter. But other than that, the chapter was a 10 out of 10 like I said at the start of the video. It just isn't good writing to me that Sakura didn't show up once Hidari showed up. Because we could have gotten a Sakura and Sarada versus Hidari battle, and that would have been much better than Konohamaru showing up. Having said that though, I did like the new Rasen barrier jutsu Konohamaru developed. So I guess that was good instead of Sakura showing up. But I still think Sakura should have shown up in the first place, just to confront Hidari and find out what Sasuke was doing regarding omnipotence. Because we know Sakura isn't aware of the Shinjutsu, but still she probably want to know what drove Sasuke to desert the village once again, because her and Kakashi most likely suffered for that. But back to the chapter, like I said, Sakura just said Inojin's chakra was disrupted, but once she restored it, he would wake up again soon, to which Himurari was happy about that, and the others. Ino was also there by Inojin's side looking down at her son, so we know that she's feeling kind of bad about all this. This situation is kind of getting out of hand. And back to Boruto's interrogation, Boruto starts telling Konohamaru and Ibiki everything about the Shinju, what he knows, including Matsuri, the Shinju of Moegi, who is after Konohamaru, and the prototypes. Prototypes meaning all of the Shinju have a base prototype who they are modeled after. For example, Sasuke is the prototype of Hidari, so he's basically the Shinju equivalent of Sasuke. As with Moegi being the prototype for Matsuri, the prototype being the base for the Shinju. So Moegi is the prototype for Matsuri, the Moegi Shinju. Boruto also informs us this chapter that Jura is the only one among them with no prototype, as he is the incarnation of the Ten Tails itself. So a lot of us already knew that, but I guess they really wanted to put that in there so none of us thought of who was Jura's prototype, because he is the Ten Tails itself. However, even though we're saying that, I still believe Jura has some kind of connection with Ishiki Otsutsuki, and I'll go into detail what that is in another video. But getting back to the chapter, we then go to Kawaki, Ada, and Damon, who are talking about Boruto's interrogation. Damon mocks Kawaki, saying if Boruto lets all the cats out of the bag, it's looking bad for him. But Kawaki isn't worried, because omnipotence is too strong of a shinjutsu for them to do anything, even if Boruto exposes the truth. I really personally can't stand Kawaki still for doing Boruto like this, but at the same time I understand why he's doing this, because Momoshiki is most definitely a threat, and we don't know like how much control Boruto has gotten over him since like the time skips, because we haven't even seen Momoshiki, as a matter of fact. We then get a cut from Amato, who's analyzing everything Boruto is saying, who then comes to the conclusion that the Shinju are just after intelligence in the long run, or further knowledge and information. There's also something else I want to rant about real quick. How are the elders Koharu and Homura still alive at this point? This doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, when Sasuke declared to go after the elders, he should not have just stopped at Danzo. He probably should have came to Konoha and wiped out Koharu and Homura before the war even. But that's just my 2 cents. I'll probably ask you guys in a poll what you guys think about it, but I'm sure at least half of you guys would agree with that. But this is where in the chapter where things start to go downhill for Boruto, because Konohamaru starts to ask Boruto how he knows all this information about the Shinju and everything, to where Boruto tells Konohamaru he has a source, one man, but he can't reveal his identity. And Konohamaru, Ibiki, and the elders are not trying to hear any of that. Boruto tells them it's for his own safety. Homura then tells Boruto not to get cocky with them, and that any hostile elements will be eliminated using all means necessary. He tells Boruto that there's no chance that he leaves that room alive. And as he says that, we cut to Shikamaru and he starts to sweat. This scene with Shikamaru gets very intense because he starts to recall everything Boruto ever says to him. And when he has the flashback, we see that omnipotence is omitted because he can't really remember everything because of omnipotence effects. But Shikamaru is going against everything he's thinking and decides to place his faith in Boruto, because he realizes if Boruto is truly Boruto Uzumaki, everything he's thinking falls into place, and that's correct. So it looks like Shikamaru is slowly but surely breaking through omnipotence. I wonder how this is really going to pan out, because it looks like Shikamaru is going to be a glitch in the Matrix. Not just Shikamaru either, Mitski seems like he is too, going off the basis of this chapter. But before I get to that, Ibiki then slams Boruto's head on the table, because they didn't like that Boruto said that the 7th and his wife are still alive when they asked where's Naruto's location. Boruto didn't say anything, so he's still keeping Kawaki safe after all this too, and it's really messed up on Kawaki's part how he's doing Boruto. But at the same time, we don't know like how much control he has over Momoshiki. So if Momoshiki can sporadically take over whenever, Boruto definitely is still a threat. But even still, Kawaki should still differentiate between Boruto and Momoshiki. But he's calling them both one being now. Because if you guys remember, Kawaki did say he'd exterminate all Otsutsuki, and Boruto is 100% Otsutsuki now. So that means Boruto must be exterminated in Kawaki's eyes. Things are going downhill for Shikamaru as well, because Shikamaru tries to contact Ino to get her to connect him with Boruto, but Ino declines, saying that they've been going against the law for so long, and even as his friend, she can't help Shikamaru anymore. So it looks like Shikamaru is losing leverage with Ino, and the whole telepathic link thing won't be going on much longer anyway. However, he still has a plan, because he sends Mitski into the interrogation room with the intention of using venom to get Boruto to talk. However, this was just a ruse, because Shikamaru wanted Mitski to release Boruto, because Boruto can't die yet. And Mitski played his part well. As soon as he got in there, Boruto asked him was he still foolishly chasing his son, and Mitski got mad and went straight into Sage mode and pinned Boruto against the wall. But that's when he released Boruto and whispered in his ear where his sword and cloak are. This is why I was saying earlier Mitski is starting to break through omnipotence too. So it looks like there are two glitches in the Matrix, not including Sumire and Sarada. I think it's still too early in the story to tell, but I wonder how everyone will break omnipotence and see that Kawaki is the imposter and Boruto is the true hero, the true son to Lord 7th Naruto Uzumaki. So like I said, Boruto jets and the elders Koharu and Homura tell Shikamaru there will be repercussions for this. And towards the end of the chapter, we then see that Kankuro contacts Shikamaru after all the ruckus happened and Boruto escaped, with Kankuro telling Shikamaru that Gaara and Shinki have been taken down by a Shinju, and Shinki has been turned into a Shinju himself. And then we cut to all the Shinju, with Jura, Matsuri, Mamushi, and Hidari greeting Ryu, the Shinki Shinju. So I thought Ryu meant dragon in Japanese, but I guess it also means particle as well, because that's what Ryu is named after. So I really liked this chapter. It was a 10 out of 10 like I said, and I believe we're headed towards another Kazekage rescue arc, just like the beginning of Naruto Shippuden. I guess they're going to do the same with the beginning of Two Blue Vortex as well. I guess Gaara was just taken down, so he's not a tree yet. So I think he'll be able to provide assistance later on in this arc. What did you guys like most about this chapter? Do you think we're headed into another Kazekage rescue arc type mission? What type of punishment do you think Shikamaru will receive by letting Boruto escape? And what do you guys think the Shinju's next move will be? Because I think that determines what Boruto's next move will be. And like I said earlier in the video, let me know in the comments, do you think it was okay for Sakura showing up this chapter, or do you think she should have showed up once Hidari and Jura infiltrated the village? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next video. Later.